everybody. I'm Savani Babu.
And I'm Sabine K. Bergman.
We're the co-founders of Hidden Compass, as you probably know at this point, and we are joined today by writer and scientist Dr. Rachel Blaser, who wrote a story for our Human and Nature department in our Winter 2022 issue about a magical oceanic phenomenon that she experienced with her children and the neurochemistry behind that magical experience. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So I just want to start by first asking, what motivated you to become a scientist and a writer?
So I started out in college pursuing science as a psychology major and loved it. But a few years ago, I began to really feel the lack of scientific writing for a more general audience. It's just not something that we are trained to do. So we learn to write academically for an academic audience to sum up our results and publish them for our peers. And that leaves so many people out of the picture. And I think people would love to hear more about all of this cool, exciting work that scientists do. And we just make it inaccessible so often. And we leave the task to other people to try to translate that into something for everybody else to appreciate. And so I think that scientists need to really do a better job of translating their work into stories, into things that people can understand and appreciate. Mm-hmm. And that's something I've really been trying to do over the past few years, is learning how better to do that, sharing with my students how better to do that. I've even been teaching a class on the psychology of science communication that is very fun. And I love learning more about it.
I bet that's a really fun class. And Savani and I are both very passionate about scientific storytelling, and it's one of the areas we really nerd out about that. And so we're thrilled to be able to publish you. And when you originally sent us a story, it was this beautiful story about a phenomenon that you and your children had witnessed. And us being the science storytelling nerds that we are, we encouraged you to delve more into your scientific background and explore the neurochemical angle of that experience. So what do you think that exploration lent to the piece and to you?
So much, so very much. So when I first wrote that story, I was trying to step away from myself as a scientist and really write it as a storyteller, right? I was trying to be storyteller me instead of scientist me. And I think that was a mistake, because scientist me and storyteller me have to become the same person. So I was looking at the science behind the red tide, right? How the dinoflagellates produce the light and that kind of stuff. But I hadn't really thought to integrate psychology and neuroscience into the other side of that, into my perception and my response to it. And I think it added so much depth when I started thinking about it that way. And so I really enjoyed working with your team on drawing that out and filling the story up with neuroscience, because it was so much fun.
It's wonderful. And the story so benefits from your curiosity in that and your experience. And it is quite a story. And I want to just, for the people who are watching who don't know, with every story that we publish, we launch a fundraising campaign. And with those campaigns, they design them to reflect the partnership, not just between us and our writers and contributors, but also between all of us and the audience, and, those of you who are out there watching. And so 50% of the proceeds for those campaigns go to Hidden Compass as a magazine, so we can continue doing what we're doing. And 50% goes to the writer. So Rachel, I just want to ask you, what would it mean for people to contribute to your campaign?
More storytelling. It would really just provide the opportunity to keep doing what you are doing, what I'm trying to do more of. And I admire what you're doing so much. I'm just excited to be part of it.
Oh, thank you. Well, we admire your work, and we feel privileged to be able to publish the stories that we do. And also note that the 50% that goes to the storytellers goes on top of what we pay for the articles. And so all of you who contribute really amplify our support for our contributors, and that means the world to us, as well to the contributors. So thank you to everyone who's already contributed to the campaign. For those who haven't read the story, you should go check it out in the Winter 2022 issue, Human and Nature Department. And
I'll also note, though, that the photos in this story were taken by Rachel as well. and they are a really interesting addition and fun addition to this story. So definitely go check that out.
Thank you, everyone who read and has contributed. And thank you, Rachel, for joining us.
Thank you very much. It was an honor.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.